Jai Hind everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel which is Explore Yourselves, Banking and General Knowledge etc. Jai Hind, Historical Events of 24th April, Journey through Time of 24th April 2025, Thursday. Today's that is 24th April, highlight in history. 1704, the first regular newspaper in British colonial America, the Boston Newsletter is published. 1793, French revolutionary Jean-Paul Marat is acquitted by the Revolutionary Tribunal of charges brought by the Girondins in Paris. 1800. The United States Library of Congress is established when President John Adams signs legislation to appropriate $5,000 to purchase such books as may be necessary for the use of Congress. 1837. The Great Fire in Surat, city of India, caused more than 500 deaths and destruction of more than 9,000 houses. 1877, Russo-Turkish War. Russian Empire declares war on Ottoman Empire. 1885, American sharpshooter Anne Oakley is hired by Nates Salisbury to be a part of Buffalo Bill's Wild West. 1895, Joshua Slocum, the first person to sail single-handedly around the world, sets sail from Boston, Massachusetts, aboard the sloop Spray. 1913, the Woolworth Building, a skyscraper in New York City, is opened. 1914, the Frank-Hertz experiment, a pillar of quantum mechanics, is presented to the German Physical Society. 1915, the arrest of 250 Armenian intellectuals and community leaders in Istanbul marks the beginning of the Armenian genocide. 1916, Star Rising, Irish rebels led by Patrick Pearse and James Connolly launch an uprising in Dublin against British rule and proclaim an Irish Republic. 1916, Ernest Shackleton and 5 men of Imperial Trans-Antarctic Expedition launch a lifeboat from uninhabited Elephant Island in the Southern Ocean to organize a rescue for the crew of the sunken Endurance. 1918, World War I, first tank-to-tank combat during the Second Battle of Villars-Bretonneux. 3 British Mark IVs is met 3 German A7Vs. 1922, the first segment of the Imperial Wireless chain providing wireless telegraphy between Lichfield in Oxfordshire, England and Cairo, Egypt comes into operation. 1924, Thorvald Stunning becomes Premier of Denmark, first term. 1926, the Treaty of Berlin is signed. Germany and the Soviet Union each pledged neutrality in the event of an attack on the other by a third party for the next 5 years. 1932, Benny Rothman leads the mass trespass of Kinder Scout, leading to substantial legal reforms in the United Kingdom. 1933, Nazi Germany begins its persecution of Jehovah's Witnesses by shooting down the Watchtower Society office in Magdeburg. 1944, World War II, the SBS launches a raid against the garrison of Santorini in Greece. 1953, Winston Churchill is knighted by Queen Elizabeth II. 1955, the Bandung Conference ends. 29 non-aligned nations of Asia and Africa finishes a meeting that condemns colonialism, racism and the Cold War. 1957, Suez Crisis. The Suez Canal is reopened following the introduction of UNEP peacekeepers to the region. 1963, Marriage of Princess Alexandra of Kent to Angus Ogilvy at Westminster Abbey in London. 1965. Civil war breaks out in the Dominican Republic when Colonel Francisco Camacho overthrows the triumvirate that had been in power since the coup d'etat against Juan Bosch. 1967. Cosmonaut Vladimir Komarov dies in Soyuz 1 when its parachute fails to open. He is the first human to die during a space mission. 1967. Vietnam War. American General William Westmoreland says in a news conference that the enemy had gained support in the United States that gives him no hope that he can win politically, that which he cannot win militarily. 1970. China launches Dongfang Hong 1, becoming the fifth nation to put an object into orbit using its own booster. 1970. The Gambia becomes a republic within the Commonwealth of Nations with Dawda Jawda as its first president. 1979. Blair Peach, a British activist, died after being knocked unconscious during an anti-Nazi League demonstration against a National Front election meeting in Southall, London. 1980. 8 US servicemen die in Operation Eagle Claw as they attempt to end the Iran hostage crisis. 1990. STS-31, the Hubble Space Telescope, is launched from the Space Shuttle Discovery. 1990. Greenland Iceland. Scotland is officially declared free of the anthrax disease after 48 years of quarantine. 1993. An IRA bomb devastates the Bishopsgate area of London. 1994. A Douglas DC-3 ditches in Botany Bay after takeoff from Sydney Airport. All 25 people on board survived. 1996. In the United States, the Anti-Terrorism and Effective Death Penalty Act of 1996 is passed into law. 2004. The United States lifts economic sanctions imposed on Libya 18 years previously as a reward for its cooperation in eliminating weapons of mass destruction. 2005. Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger is inaugurated as the 265th Pope of the Catholic Church, taking the name Pope Benedict XVI. 2006. Bombings in the Egyptian resort city of Dahab killed 23 people and injured about 80. 2011. WikiLeaks starts publishing the Guantanamo Bay files leak. 2013. A building collapses near Dhaka, Bangladesh, killing 1,134 people and injuring about 2,500 others. 2013. Violence in Bachu County, Kasgar Prefecture of China's Xinjiang results in death of 21 people. Thank you very much for your patience. Request for like, share and subscribe.